So the question is straightforward: design a file conversion system. So how you guys will proceed with this? Anyone wants to volunteer? Dekho, as simple as this.
Bro, like file conversion in the sense like what is the expected? Bro? Like should we convert the JPG to PDF, or is it that kind of conversion, or what kind of conversion is it expected?
Okay.
Input and output basically.
Okay, so I'll name it as functional requirement. Okay, so probably input can be any of the files. It can be JPG, PNG, or whatever. Okay, and let's suppose output is PDF. Yeah.
Next requirement can be like from where these files will be stored, like from where we will take these files.
Okay, from
It will
where
be a
this?
static path or dynamic path. Yeah.
Okay, so file location probably. Okay.
Yes.
So what are the ways? Let's suppose I say ki you will be getting this as the input from the users. So user is going to
Yes.
upload from your website, ki, hey, upload this file and give the converted file. So it's not a bulk upload, it's a single file upload.
Okay.
Do you want to support that bulk upload as well? So bulk upload
Like
probably
for the single file.
yeah, let's go with a single file. Bulk upload, we can keep it as a P1 requirement, and all these are P0 requirement. Okay.
Okay.
So what can be the other set of questions?
Maximum number of inputs allowed.
Maximum number of inputs. Can you just elaborate that one?
I mean, like to convert into a PDF, like if we take around 3 to 4 JPGs, so what is the maximum size limit we can upload or we can restrict the user?
Maximum file size. Okay, let's suppose ki you are going to take only single image. Okay, one image, and that you are going to convert to PDF, and their maximum file size limit is, let's suppose 5 MB. Okay, what else? Any further question?
Number of parallel processings.
Number of parallel processing. Number of parallel processing per user, you are asking?
Yeah.
Okay, so it can be one of the non-functional requirement, but number of parallel processing. So if I'm understanding this point correctly, you are trying to say that probably for a given customer, you will allow only let's suppose 5 files to be processed parallelly, or probably in one day he can only process, let's suppose 20 files, something like this.
Yeah, not in the day limit, but concurrently.
Concurrent.
At the
So,
same time.
yeah, what will the advantage by using this concurrent feature?
I mean, currently we are uploading only if the user has either 2 to 3 images.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that can result into the bulk upload feature.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, probably bulk upload probably we can ignore for now. Bulk upload we can keep it as a P1. So I take this input number of parallel processing, but probably for now, let's suppose keep it as a P1 only. Okay, what else? Anything else from the user perspective, user experience?
Should user log in to upload this file, or can he proceed without any login?
Login functionality. Okay, whether you will allow the login user only to convert the files or all the users. Let's suppose for now we are allowing all the users, and we don't need to consider the security aspect here. Okay, probably we can keep it as a P1. because security itself will be a whole different system, right? You need to have a number of ways to figure out and maintain the security there.
Should we see the processed output at our end, or should we,
Processed out.
ignore?
So processed output probably you can download, right?
Yeah.
You can download. So we'll give the option to the user to download the processed output file. And is your question towards that as well, right? Whether we'll store that or not?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's suppose, how is it possible, right? If we want to store it, then how the user will be able to download that? So automatically we'll convert and start the downloading.
Yeah, that is one way. Or else, like, if the processing takes around 5 to 10 minutes, maybe we can ask a sort of email or some other thing, and we can send the file over there instead of keeping the user waiting.
Okay, so this was one. So processed output, I'll say probably you need to store it as well, because directly you can't start the download, because there will be other service which will be handling that particular thing. So somewhere you need to store that. Probably you can delete it immediately after the downloading, but for instance, you need to store that particular thing. And for a reference, let's suppose we are keeping or storing the file for, let's suppose, 2 months or 3 months kind of a thing. Because what if the user comes again and say, hey, I want to download the file again. If it is a logged in user, he want to say, hey, I want to download that file again, or probably he want to retry the download. The download started but failed in between, so he want to retry the download. So for those purpose, right? So we'll store that file for some duration. That's a very good point. Okay, what will be the user experience, because it can take 5 to 10 minutes. So definitely one of the important question will be how a typical time scenario will look like, how much typically it will take to convert a file, whether it will be 10 second, 15 second, 1 minute, or 5 minute kind of a thing, right? If it is a 2 second, 3 second job, then probably you can make your customer wait, right? But if it is a 1 minute job, can you make your customer wait? We have saw this use case, right? कि अगर वो काम करने के लिए it is taking more than 20 seconds, so can we make our customer wait for that particular time?
No.
So it is sync versus async is also answered from here, right? Let's suppose I am taking a minute to process, right? 1 minute to process one conversion. We can't make the customer wait, so it will be async, and we need to have some kind of a email, right? Email of the user, or probably we can send a in-browser notification only, or let the customer come again and he can check in his side what all files he uploaded and what is the current status of that. Okay. Anything apart from this? What else? Any further question?
Sharing the output.
Sharing the output. Okay. So sharing probably. Okay. Just a second. I'll just zoom out. Sharing file. Okay. I'll keep it as a P1 requirement, not a P0 requirement, because we will be seeing the design system for the Dropbox, right? The Google Dropbox. So there we will see this design as well. The sharing functionality and other things can be covered from there. Okay. Anything other than this? Any other requirement that you guys want to suggest or discuss? Okay. What's next after functional requirement? Non-functional requirement? So system should be highly available, right? Yes or no?
Yes, it should be.
It should be highly available. And what about the consistency? What is the consistency implication here? Can you identify any? Probably not much, but we can consider ki even if my file got processed in 1 minute, probably I can make even if it is not available in 105, matlab 1 minute and 5 seconds, 10 seconds is still fine for the customer, right? As soon as he gets the notification, he should be sure that yeah, the file is generated. The notification should not be out of sync. Notifications should only be generated when the file is already processed and available for download. Okay. What else? Okay, with this, let's start the discussion. Okay, so ये क्या हुआ? Just a second. या तो ठीक है. Okay, so here is our user. Okay, he comes to the website. Okay, and what will happen next? Here is a button called upload. Upload and then convert, right? So what is the event, or what will happen when the user will call upload?
Basically, we load the file into SMS3 bucket or something.
Okay, so as soon as the user clicks on upload, you will open a file dialog, okay, where the customer will choose from his local directory. He will select a file, okay, and after he selects that file, probably as part of this upload only, you will send that file to the S3 or some other button.
So I think on conversion we should do, because what if the upload is wrong?
Correct. Because it may be the cases the customer want to re-upload that file, customer want to select some other file, right? So probably it's better to give convert and then you will send that file to the S3. So the first thing that we saw, probably the request will come to upload a file to S3 bucket. Okay. From that user browser, okay, the request has came to upload that file to the S3 bucket. Then what will happen after uploading that file to S3?
Yeah, I have one question. How will the file be transferred over the network? Like, is it like, will it be efficient if it's a big file or something?
Yes. So if it is a big file, right, that's what that particular requirement was very necessary, right? What is the max size of a file allowed, right? If it is a big file, probably kind of a 1 GB or so, okay, direct file uploading is not possible. Even the file uploading can be async operation, right? You need to use the multi-part upload. Probably the files will be uploaded multiple parts. But if it is a single file of size probably 3 MB, 4 MB, it's fine to just directly it can be uploaded in a single go.
Okay.
Cool. And yeah, this file upload will take in detail when we'll discuss the design for the probably the Dropbox, right? Because there it will be very efficient how to upload that file, right? Because there the file size will go to a GB and more than that as well, right? That's how you see in your drive, Google Drive and all, right? So when we'll see that use case, this particular part will be covered in detail, how to upload a file, how to upload a big file, how to divide the data in multiple parts so that they can be transported, and how that data will be stitched at the destination, right? Because if you are storing, you are sending that file in smaller chunks, and let's suppose this particular part arrives early, what will happen to this, right? The files can't be stitched properly, right? So all those things need to be considered. Yeah, somebody has some question?
Like
Any-
I thought of why to upload to S3.
Mhm.
So if we make a file at local itself, like it will be a single point of failure.
If we can you come here again? Last point I missed.
So like why should we upload the file to S3?
Mhm.
So that was my question.
Okay.
So I thought of like instead of uploading, we could create a file at our at the server itself,
Okay.
and then we can process it. But like that will result to a single point of failure.
Correct.
And also
File.
that will not be scalable, right? Because if there are multiple people, how will our server storage increase?
Server storage will definitely increase. That is one valid point. Plus, what is exactly you meant when you say ki we'll create the file at our servers only? So you will take the entire data stream and then store it at your server.
Yeah, like it will be a temporary file, right? We won't be storing the input. I mean, we won't be storing the input at our end.
Mhm.
So we will process the input, and then like after the processing, we can store it at the S3.
Okay. So you are saying probably in you will not directly store it to S3. What you will do probably you will create an entry of that file, or you will store that file at your server, right?
Yeah.
So if you will store your file at your server, it will be in memory or probably the persistent storage. So the servers also have two parts, right? Memory, that is RAM, and your EBS, that is the storage volume. So which part you will store this particular thing to? Memory or elastic block storage? Or
Yeah, I thought of storing it in memory, but like, yeah, it will be as if the server dies, then our process will die. Like
correct.
it will be a single point of failure.
Correct. So this is one of the things. If what if the servers die, that is one aspect. Plus you are utilizing or probably you are using the memory for this kind of a storage perspective, right? So if it is gonna be a sync operation, then still it can work fine. Definitely that's not a good approach either. But even it's a sync approach, then probably we can understand the requirement of storing that particular thing in the memory. But if it is a sync operation, it will always be best to use specialized storage for that particular stuff, right? The S3 and other file storage services. So these are meant to be storing the file information only. Okay. But even if you do that, the job can be solved, right? You can have that data in the memory, okay? But ultimately it will be have a single point of failure for the confirmation side. But again, you can achieve the same thing. Probably you will store that file and you will replicate that to multiple other servers, okay? And when you have replicated, then you will confirm back to the website, hey, I have confirmed and I have received this file. This you can do. Because to avoid that single point of failure, what we can do, we can take the input in memory, okay, of that server, replicate that file to one other server at least, okay, or probably two other servers, and then notify back the website that I have received this file. In that particular case, you will avoid the single point of failure. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So single point of failure can be removed even if we store in memory that file, right? But still it will always be better directly not to rely or keep our servers busy in this particular stuff. Rather, whenever the servers are ready, they can take up the load, right? And for storing and other things, we can use the specialized services for file storage. Clear till here? कोई doubt इसमें विराम or anyone else? ठीक है, यहाँ तक clear है? So we'll store that file in the S3. What next? देखो
we will have our algorithm to convert that into the PDF.
No. So after S3, okay, you said you will have some algorithm, right? So algorithm is a set of instruction, right? How you will know the entry about S3, right? इसको कैसे पता चलेगा कि कोई फाइल थी यहाँ पे? How it will know about this?
We need
We will
we
push
need an
event.
SNS or some kind of service.
We will
SNS where
SNS kind of a service, right? So SNS के पास information कहाँ से आएगी?
so as we upload it to S3, we'll send a notification on this
Correct.
SNS,
Okay.
and whoever is listening to this SNS will, whichever job,
Mhm.
will one by one subscribe to this SNS and
Okay.
convert these items.
Cool. So what will happen? We have the S3, and as soon as some event or as soon as someone puts some file in this S3, okay, a notification will be generated on each put event, okay, and probably you will block all this entry, the delete and other entries from this table, okay. And let's suppose on this put event, you will generate an event, right? That can be that can trigger a Lambda, it can trigger a SNS notification or what else you want, right? It can trigger a notification, and in that okay, one more thing, you will go ahead with this SNS mechanism or this SQS mechanism. Again, the same question. You will send out a notification or probably you will insert a message, hey, some file has arrived. SNS versus SQS. अगर SNS करते हैं तो what is the SNS? Jeet said SNS. Okay. Can you explain like why you thought SNS will be a better?
Yeah, sure, Ravi. So I think last day we also discussed that what if regarding the future scope, let's say, what if in future we want another service,
Mhm.
and another service instead of PDF conversion, we want, let's say, some different conversion.
Okay.
So why to have different queues for that and separate? So last day the problem we faced, we managed it with a single SNS, and different services has had their own SQS pipelines.
Okay.
So I think that is the same way I am thinking we should use SNS.
Okay. So one of the point that you told ki what if in future we have, apart from that PDF conversion, we have, let's suppose, HTML conversion, right? Again,
Right.
there will be some service who will be converting to PDF. There will be some logic of converting that to HTML, right? That logic will reside at some place, right? Now, do you want for the same file to be converted to HTML and PDF both, or probably one file I want to be converted to PDF, other file I want to convert it to HTML? नहीं, मेरा रिक्वायरमेंट यहाँ पे ये है कि तुमने एक फाइल अपलोड की, राइट? तुम उसी फाइल को चाहते हो पीडीएफ में भी कन्वर्ट हो जाए, एचटीएमएल में भी कन्वर्ट हो जाए, एंड सम अदर टाइप में भी कन्वर्ट हो जाए, या you want to have the flexibility like sometimes I'll use the JPG to PDF converter, sometimes I'll use JPG to HTML converter. So out of that, which one you are talking about here?
Second one.
Second one. So probably sometimes JPG to PDF and JPG to HTML, right? Now we have a conversion logic running in some servers for the PDF. We have okay, I'll just clear. Okay, so we have PDF conversion logic running here. We have HTML conversion logic running here, right? We have some message queue here, right? Message queue. Okay, this is consuming. This is consuming. Okay, based upon that message type, okay, message type, we can use the, in SQS also we have some kind of mechanism, right? Where we have the FIFO queues, where we have the message group IDs, right? Message group IDs were there, and based upon that message group ID, can we replicate the behavior of multiple queue in a single queue, right? The PDF will go to a single different message group, and the HTML will go to a different message group, and the PDF can read from this message group, the HTML can read from this message group. Or even if you keep in a single queue, probably I'll say, hey, give me that message. I'll say, what is the type of that message? It said HTML. And if the PDF is reading, he will say, no, I don't want to process that message. Okay? So it won't delete, but it will ask the next, but it will be inefficient, right? अगर मैं सारे मैसेज को रीड करूंगा and then I'll figure out whether I want to process that message or not, it will be inefficient. Same way we can distribute in multiple message groups, that will be slightly efficient, right? Or if you want to go ahead with this SNS kind of mechanism, still you can go ahead, but in this case it can look like some over engineering. मतलब I'm not saying कि that will be a bad idea, ठीक है? But that can be served well with a SQS as well. अगर कुछ ऐसा केस जिसमें तुमको लगता है कि SQS से we can't serve that particular thing. चलो उतना बड़ा इसमें डिस्कशन का पॉइंट नहीं है. लेट्स सपोज वी कीप द SNS, ठीक है? S3 put event पे SNS is generated, we have the consumer, ठीक है? That will consuming the message, right? And इस मैसेज में क्या एंट्री होगी? About that file, right? File का क्या होगा? Probably the ARN of the file. ARN से मेरा मतलब है कि metadata of that file, right? What is the size of the file? What is the location of that file? What is the type of that file, right? All those things will be here with this. It will go into this queue, right? यहाँ तक is similar to whatever we have seen already in the previous design, right? जो
One
last,
question
हाँ,
here. So the queue we are using here. So if we use SNS, I mean SQS instead of SNS, so the scalability at the consumer end will vary, right?
no,
So
no.
if we have only few consumers, so and if we are using the SQS, like after processing of the current thing, we will consume the next message in the queue.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
but if we use the SNS, so whenever there is a new message, it will like push notification to the service, and based on the load, like it can scale further.
okay. So no matter whether you have a SNS or SQS, right? If you directly have SQS, well and good. If you don't have SQS directly and you are publishing to that SNS, you should have a consumer, मतलब SQS like consumer who will consume that message from that SNS, because you won't see, ठीक है, कि SNS directly sending the notification to your endpoint, right? Because that will be मतलब इस सर्विस पे बहुत ज्यादा लोड बढ़ जाएगा, बर्डन होगा, right? Because if this service is not ready, this will try to just retry, and this service will be hard for this service to come back if this service is facing some problem. So to avoid that and to enable the async mechanism here, we need to consume that messages from that SNS topic, right? I'm not exactly sure कि मैंने तुम्हारे point को सही लिया है कि नहीं. Can you just repeat again कि तुम्हारा यही point था या some other point you had?
It's different. So it's like the scalability of the system. So based on the traffic. So if if there are huge number of users who are uploading, if we use SQS sort of thing, so let's say we have around 5 to 10 consumers.
Okay.
So you who consumes the message from the SQS, and after processing, like they will reconsume it from the SQS again.
Yes.
Okay. So based on the SQS, like the consumers are not aware of the traffic. I mean heavy traffic. So like their part is like they do the processing and they will take up the extra message from the SQS. So, but what I'm saying is like if we use the SNS, so like the consumer will be, SNS will be pushing notifications to the consumer, and the consumers will be realizing that we are getting so much of notifications. Maybe there could be heavy traffic and we need to scale a bit.
Okay. See, similar problem. देखो, इसको ऐसे कंसीडर करते हैं, ठीक है? The approach is almost similar. तुम यहाँ पे बोल रहे हो कि as the SNS is receiving huge number of notification and it is publishing to SQS, ठीक है? SQS can scale, right? The same way here also SQS can scale. Why? Because see, let's suppose you have a central monitoring service, right? ठीक है, which tries to look for let's suppose इस SQS में कितने outstanding messages हैं, right? Or you have configured some kind of a threshold कि if that will breach this threshold, I want to trigger a notification, ठीक है, that will allow more consumers to run. बिकॉज जब भी तुम एक सिस्टम को रन करोगे, राइट, अब ले सपोज जब मैं EC2 की बात करता था, EC2 इज नथिंग बट योर नॉर्मल सर्वर्स, राइट? तो वहां पे ऑटो स्केलिंग कैसे काम करेगी? जब भी कंटिन्यूसली रिक्वेस्ट आ रहा है, ठीक है, तो वहां पे ऑटो स्केलिंग कैसे होगा? तुमने वहां पे कॉन्फ़िगर करके रखा होगा रूल कि इफ माय CPU यूटिलाइजेशन इज गोइंग अबव दिस थ्रेशोल्ड, ट्रिगर ऑटो स्केलिंग रूल, जो कि एक नया इंस्टेंस को स्पॉन कर देगा. Same way you can configure the rules, like if the outstanding messages probably is increasing, you can spawn another consumer.